Okay, I'm back with. I'm going to try to do this quickly. Okay, I'm going to show you some of the 5/9 references. Obviously, we have that date coming up pretty quick, and I wanted to show you some of the stuff in the dartboard. And there's another nice little tie-in. I couldn't resist, but I just felt like I wanted to do another Madonna video. Yeah, I just couldn't resist the potential of doing another Madonna video. It seems to be a theme of mine, and so I thought, well, this is a good enough date, because I could have done about 4 or 5 dates here recently, but I thought this one was kind of interesting. Okay, so very very quickly, there's a perfect cross in here, which is the 203 straight down, and again a cross is 611. Okay. You'll also note that in the dartboard that 1, 2, and 5 are grouped together always, basically. Okay, and again, 125 is an abbreviation of 1225, which is Christ's birthday. Okay, so that is important. What you'll also see is that what I think we've got coming up on 5/9 is there's another potential day for a ritual to occur, which is a ritual of rebirth. Okay, and we already have a date that in the consciousness is already the name is already ingrained in the consciousness, but it under a different guise. Okay, and that date is Labor Day, which is the day before 5/9 this year. It's 4/9 Labor Day this year. And if you go look up about Labor Day, it's actually quite tied to the number 5/9, and it is also tied to May Day and the Haymarket massacre, and so there's a lot of very very interesting connections with Labor Day. Okay, it connects very well to the 5/9. It connects very well to um, May Day as well. Okay, and it also has that hay reference again. We see the hay reference come up. I'm thinking um, the safety dance, at the end of the safety dance, the reference to hay, and I'm thinking 2001, Haywood, Floyd. Okay, I'm thinking those references. The hay thing's been bothering me for a while, um, and that might be the reference there that kind of at least fits for me. Okay, with the reference to hay. Um, yeah, and I don't want to go on about too much more, but if you go read the Wikipedia stuff on it, um, it it's quite interesting, really. I'd recommend just going and doing that. I'm not going to go to it and go through it now. I just don't have time. So, what is interesting though is with our dollar bill, of course, it encodes um, Labor Day with a 122-day jump, and you see this across here. Okay, I'm just inserting this little piece here because I didn't really explain this very clearly, and kind of really forgot to mention it. But again, okay, so I'm talking about the 122 here. Okay, our start date happens to be here as well, which is the 125th day of the year, which is the 5th of May, and also here again 129, the 129th day of the year again is 5/9. Okay, so but that is May the 9th this time. Okay, so sorry I didn't put that in there, and I don't know if it's going to, hopefully this will be logically making sense here, but we'll go back to the rest of what I'm saying here. But this 122, the start date for that number jump is right here, and then we also have a 5/9 reference here as well. Okay, so 122, that's our number jump from 5/5 through to um, the 4th of September. And again, what do we see either side of that number jump but the 5-9? Okay, this 5-9 is next to basically the 4-9 here of Labor Day. It's basically next to Labor Day. Okay, not only that, but it's re-referenced again with another 915 here coming across right adjacent to it. Okay, so pretty interesting. Again, this 215 here, if you went to the 24-hour clock, 2150, and converted that back to 12-hour, that would be 950, another 95 reference right here. Okay, so it's just interesting the way this thing, the stuff fits together. Obviously, I've shown you other stuff before in here, but that's again interesting with that set of numbers coming across here, and it ties into this set of numbers here. Again, this is another date for Christ's birth again, but it ties in with this date here. Okay, or this set of numbers, should I say. And there is a date that is it within here as well, which I'm going to show you in just a second. And I've talked about different dates as well surrounding these numbers, but 172, if we look up and across, again, it's balancing with Christ's birthday again. So not only is it right next to it, but it's opposite as well. So the idea of rebirth again with these numbers. And what you'll notice is that crosses with Madonna's birthday here with the 816, and also the number pi as well. Okay, and this set of numbers, obviously, depending on the way around it is, can also be a balancing set of numbers as well. Just interesting they tie together. So we're going to look now at this set of numbers and how it ties to another, what am I going to say, the perfect cross in here, which is obviously the straight up and down and straight across here, the 203 and the 611 is obviously a perfect cross, is a reference to Christ. Okay, and so where do I want to go with this? Because we want to, if we're talking about Madonna, right, and we're talking about the corrupt version of Madonna, that thing has to die in order for Christ to resurrect, okay, to be reborn. Okay, and actually what we're talking about is we're actually talking about a death of the false ego, which is the false twin, and that's the twin, the sacrificial twin that has to go in order to be reborn. Okay, so when we're talking about the death of Madonna, when we're talking about the death of the Matrix, basically, we're talking about the death of our individual egos that create those things. Okay, and that false ego is the thing that's got to go. That's the thing that's got to be sacrificially wasted, right? So in order to get back to this balance point here, well, there's a set of numbers here, this 611, and again obviously it ties in closely with Madonna's stuff here. I'm going to show how it ties in with this, with the table, and we'll look at some of the 5-9s in the table real quick, and then I got to go to bed. So why I got some stuff scribbled in here today. I've got this purple set of numbers scribbled in, and this is the hidden 4 row. I've talked about this before, okay, and the reason why I've got it in here is because there's some interesting references, okay, and really what we're looking at is I mean, hell, I don't know, we're just looking at numbers all the way around this slot here. Okay, obviously the 5-9 is in here, and obviously 5-9 is referencing 6-11 here and 7-13. Obviously these numbers are all sort of up on each other. Okay, and so if we're going to have a Madonna death date, we would want to reference maybe resurrection idea, or a perfect Christ cross, which is the 611 cross that was there. We may also want to reference the 33 here. You know, I don't know what we would want to do, but we, you know, how this thing works. But some of these numbers, again, it's just interesting the way some of this stuff fits together. Okay. And what we have going on is, if we look at this purple set of numbers here, you know, we do have a number 16 here, and we do have an 8 on the other end of here. Okay, I know this is probably getting difficult to see. And then we end up with that same set of numbers that's in the dartboard here, 172. Okay, that ties into Madonna's cross. So we have her birthday, and then left over is 172. Okay, actually there's an extra 1 in here, but we won't worry about too much. And that number is tying into 611 as well, and 611 is referencing 59 as well in the table here. And so where am I going to pick a date out from here, you know? And I'm going to show you right now, because that date that I'm going to pick out is today, obviously, because I always leave things to the last minute. And so 827, if we read it backwards, the 27th of August is right in here, and it ties to the perfect cross that's in the dartboard. Okay, and again, that perfect cross is the 203 that's coming downwards in that perfect cross as well. So it's a nice little reference to it as well. Blimmin' hell, what isn't it a nice reference to? I don't know. And you know, we've got the 33 in here as well, which is the death and resurrection of Christ, which of course to do with Madonna, Madonna being the Virgin Mary character. You know, again, another nice reference. How many times can I say another nice reference? What else do I want to say about it? This day happens to be, I can't remember what it is actually. I think it's the 239th day of the year. Okay. Again, another nice reference. Again, the clock tower in Back to the Future, 10:04. Another nice reference. I don't know. You know, I just thought it was worth doing the, you know, a decode on. You know, again, this 611. Again, it's. I've got right here. You see what I've done is, so I've added the purple in, but of course, normally we don't have that purple row in here, right? And so what I did is I altered the totals down the bottom here to allow, at least for these numbers here, to allow for the addition of these purple, you know, the 4 row to go in here. These purple numbers are now added in. So 55 plus 17 brings us to 72. Okay, so again, this 7 and 2 is pretty important, referencing back to not only 88 on this side, and the you know, and the idea of the Virgin Mary with 55 here, but also this 116. Again, the 1116, which is in the dartboard, which is, you know, again, highly connected to 88 now. And you know, I don't know. I'm going around in circles with this stuff. And now we have another good total here. Again, you know, the 188. Again, it's one of these numbers that shows up with another set of Madonna numbers here. Okay, so I don't know what to say. You know, it's, to me, today is a, you know, if she was to croak it today sometime, I'd be pretty, it'd be pretty interesting anyway. And again, here's 810. 810 here, and actually it would be in purple here as well. But this is again 295, another great reference to balance 29, which is again just an inversion of 5-9. Well, again, you can see the 5-9, where it shows up in the table here. Invert that, that becomes a 9. This is a 159. Journeyman put me onto a channel that has a ton of 5-9 and 159 references. We seek, we find, that's the channel. Highly recommend it. Good stuff. Okay, these inversions here, tower 1 and tower 2, okay, and tower 7 over here, of course. Again, this is just an inversion. This is 95 if you flip it 180 degrees. Again, this number shows up in the table all over the place, okay? The 66 here, 665, which again is one off of 666, pretty significant. This is, again, flip it round, it's 599. It's one off of 600. At that point, you add one onto it, so 600 one way becomes this number, and add one on it the other way, and it's 666. Pretty interesting. And again, you could argue that if you add on it one the wrong way, it becomes 666, the beast, and if you add one on the other way, it becomes the number of man, 6. Just a plain old Jane old 6, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for 6 with the number 11. 11 represents perfect balance, and again, we want that number of man with perfect balance rather than the other way around, which is 911. Okay, no 11. I mean, what else do I say? It shows up in here. Look, here it is with an 8 in the middle. Here it is with a 3 on the end. And you can come in and cross-reference these numbers. Again, you can cross-reference. Let me get rid of some of this real quick. You can cross-reference these numbers. Here's a 5. Here's a 9, just like a times table chart. Look where it comes down to, 139. 139 happens to be the 19th of the 139th day of the year is the 19th of May. Okay, and 139, of course, is super important because 139 is a balance number. And the reason why this is important as well is because when we use the regular chart of Lorraine, our total is for the addition of 55 and 88 together, so balancing these two numbers, actually comes to 143. Okay, and it doesn't come to 139, and the reason for that discrepancy is because these numbers here are not Fibonacci type numbers. 6 plus 5 is 11 and not 7. Okay, 11 and not 7, and that causes a discrepancy of 4. Okay, interesting with the CRM 114, 11, 7, and 11, 7, and 117 days left in the year is actually, again, back to 5, 9. Okay, so it's just nuts the way these numbers are all going around in circles. And again, that number there, 139, represents the total for the 7 column, and the 7 column is these two columns balancing out, basically. Yeah, so these two numbers coming together. And again, what's especially important about the number 29 is these two numbers coming into balance, being added together, but they're also the individual components of 29 as well. So 11 reduced is 2, 18 reduced is 9, and if you add them both together, we have 29 as well. So we have a 2, a 9, and if you add the two numbers together, 11 and 18 together, you get 29 as well. So that's pretty important with that number. And again, this is in my early number jump stuff. The 29th day of the year, the 129th day of the year is 5-9. And so 139, obviously, it ties in. 139 ties in with those numbers there. Again, pretty important. And again, 5, 6, 7. ties in very nicely because it's these three columns that we're dealing with right here, 5, 6, 7. I mean, it's just insane, really, the way this table works. And again, you'll note that no same numbers with Madonna. You know, the 72, the 116. You know, are showing up in totals here again. You know, I don't know what else to say about it, really. It's just really, really interesting the way these numbers show up. You know, is there anything else I've forgotten here? Here again with the 521. Obviously, the numbers at the top of the dartboard. Obviously, the reference there is 213, and 213 actually starts Lucas numbers, February the 13th, super important date. What else do I say about it? You know, Bye Bye Miss American Pie. 8 minutes 42 long, but that number exists as a total over at this point for all the numbers preceding and including 322 here. If you add all those up, it's 842, and 842 is rather 248. Again, those are the Kobe numbers that Zach goes on about all the time. And again, that same set of numbers is the day of the year. It's the 248th day of the year is 5/9. Okay. And again, Bye Bye Miss American Pie, 842 long. At the start of Back to the Future, plutonium is referenced. Pluto is an orbital time period of 248 years. I don't, you know, what else have I got here? I'm going to call it good there because otherwise this video would be too long. I've probably already lost loads of people, you know. But 810, you know, was I saying something about 810? I don't know. 810, again, 810, numerology applied is the number 18, if you like, and if we do a reference down with that, okay, this would be 10 as well across in this purple. Again, look at the numbers, 29 and 95, okay, 295. And again, don't quote me on it, but 295, I think 295 is 10/22 on the calendar, is the 295th day of the year, I think. I'm not 100% on that, but yeah, that same number, the 122, is on the dollar bill. Oh my lord, you go around in circles, couldn't you? Yeah, I think I gotta leave it there. You know, the 28th today really references 33 very, very nicely. It really represents 23 really nicely, and on the dartboard 23 is going up and down. Okay, and we are very concerned with the resurrection of man at the minute. Okay, and so 23 on the dartboard, you know, very interesting. 33, very interesting. I got a cough, I gotta go, you know. And again, I was talking about the 11 7 here, 11 7 here, 7 11 11 7 7 11. Let's say it the right. Well, I don't know if there's a right way around or not, but again, it's at the center of this set of numbers as well. So I'm going to leave it there. Today's a pretty interesting date. You've seen a bit of the 5/9s in here. Obviously, there's other bits and bobs of 5/9s in here, and I've shown you some of the stuff in the dartboard as well. Again, we've tied it all together with a Madonna, the idea of Madonna dying now, and I, you know, again, if she was to quote it to today, I'd definitely go and buy me a couple extra cans of baked beans for sure. Anyway, I'll show you a few more decodes as soon as I possibly can, but I've just got so much to do now in terms of, like, I've got loads of decodes all of a sudden, and it's just like I don't have enough time right now to do them. So interesting. I'll catch you on the next one. All right. Hope you enjoyed that. Cheers. All right. Bye.